Hey everyone, I'm here with Parag Khanna, and he has just launched and today is publishing and releasing his new book, Move. And the book is about the movement of talent and the acquisition of talent and development of talent as it makes decisions about its future. In Miami, we started sort of this new movement from the "How can I help" moment that has spurred a tremendous migration to our city. We're number one in the nation in tech job migration in the last 2 quarters of 2021. And I think part of it is because we've set a vision, we've been very consistent about our message, and we have created the conditions that favor a technological ecosystem growth, and particularly into next generation companies. So tell us a little bit about the book. You must be very excited to be releasing it today, and we're very proud that you've chosen to do a Cafecito Tech Talk with us when you can be in a variety of other places. So thank you so much.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you so much, Mayor Suarez. Well, it's my honor really to spend some time with you because you are absolutely symbolic, and Miami is now symbolic of how cities win in this war for talent. Because so often when people talk about cities right now in the context of the pandemic, they're just automatically assuming the city has lost. Because in people's heads, when someone says city, they think New York or San Francisco or LA. And they say, well, the populations had been declining anyway for the last 10 years, going back to the financial crisis, and the city has lost. That's not true, Mayor, for all of human history. The one winner in the last 7,000 years of human history is the city. Absolutely. Because people will always move to concentrate and cluster and find community and connectivity in cities. So the correct question is, which cities are winning, even if some are losing? And in this case right now, it's Miami, it's Austin, it's Denver, it's Boise, Idaho, it's Nashville, it's Atlanta, and it overseas, it's Toronto, it's Berlin, it's the island of Bali because of remote workers. And the key thing is, it's not just attracting anyone, right? It's young talent. And this is obviously so critical. How has Miami kept itself young? You and I both remember, and I grew up in New York in the 80s and 90s, and it was sort of, oh, Florida, it's sort of, it's only old retirees, yeah, right? People Absolutely. Didn't associate Miami with being the young, hot place, right? And that's what you've also done. And in my work on demographics and other factors, there's something that's true globally and also nationally, which is that you must attract young people as much as possible because they spend, they consume, they drive innovation. And one other thing that I see smart cities doing is actually creating like place-based visa programs almost, and saying, look, we know our federal policy and immigration is a mess, but if you can get to the country, you come to Miami, we have a bit of latitude here. For example, migrants can have the right to vote in municipal elections, right? Certain rights, services, protections, things like that you offer. And you kind of have like a Miami tier for people. And you actually have that. So in European cities, for example, foreigners vote in elections. And that's not common, right? But it's something that you can do to make a city even more attractive to young people going forward.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt that our city has become more and more diverse, right? We were a tri-ethnic city for many, many years, and now are much more multi-ethnic. We're seeing a huge infusion of Indian and Asian population, obviously Middle Eastern as well. And we're sort of in the intersection. The way I look at it is we're in the intersection between Israel, Silicon Valley, South America, and New York. And I think that creates a geo-position that is unique, that is not easy to replicate. I mean, there are things that we can do and that we have done and we will do to create a formula, right? Keeping taxes as low as humanly possible. Increasing spending on police. We actually increased the number of police officers that we had. And thirdly, focusing on quality of life. We have the lowest homeless rate that we've had since 2013. And we're putting out a functional zero plan to try to get to zero homeless. We want to be the first big city in America to have no homeless. And we think that these quality of life factors really motivate people in my generation and before, because we realize that the most precious commodity we all have in life is really not money, it's time. And so we want to build a city around the concept that we value your time, your most precious commodity. And we want to create the best curated experience for anyone, whether it's culture, sports, museums, art, etc.
Oh, that's amazing. So quality of life as defined by time is actually the most incredible, like holistic way in which you could possibly achieve this. And within that, what you've mentioned around homelessness and affordable housing, this is so critical. So right now in the whole world, especially in the whole urban world, there's just one common challenge: affordable housing. And without that as a foundation, people cannot be fully confident, economic or social or civic agents. You need a roof over your head that you can afford. And it's the number one driver for young people everywhere. And there are countries like Canada, for example, they're just giving people keys to homes. Wherever there's vacant housing, and America actually has the second or third highest vacant housing stock in the world. Miami doesn't have as much vacant housing, but the point is that giving people housing, giving people a roof over their head as fast as possible is literally the proven way to make them feel like they belong, where they are. So I think that that's amazing if you can do that. And there's new technologies to use. There are European cities that are mandating that there be more 3D printed housing. And, obviously, given climate change as a challenge, you want to do more flat packed, boxable type of 3D printed homes that people can actually move around in, and even design them so that they're not only movable, but of course you've got rainwater collection, you've got gray water treatment and recycling, you can have hydroponic and aquaponic agriculture, you can be doing homes with battery packs, solar panels, obviously, wind power locally, but even switchable battery packs. You can innovate so many ways for Miami to continue to absorb new people, even as you're building new affordable housing. And the new housing that you build is done in a really sustainable way. So these are great commercial opportunities. There are a couple of places in America, like especially Austin and that area, that are starting to do more of this. This could be huge for Miami as well.
And the way I define the problem is a little bit broader, which is to say, income inequality is sort of a problem that has been passed from one generation to another, and I call it the issue of our generation, right? I mean, it's an unsolved issue that keeps getting passed down, and before. I feel like there's only been two ways to solve the problem, and I think that's part of the reason why we haven't solved it, right? And one is through philanthropy, right? And the other one is, which is totally voluntary, and the other one is through government intervention, right? Is through not involuntary taxation. And when we look at innovative things like Miami Coin, for example, which is a Bitcoin based smart contract that hashes onto the Bitcoin blockchain using Stacks, which is a blockchain, and has a protocol that contributes 30% of the mining reward to cities. You create kind of a third realm, right? Which is a voluntary system, right? That contributes directly to cities and allows the cities to be, sort of receptacles of experimentation with non-tax dollars. And so we've, in less than 75 days, we've raised about $16 million, which is incredible. I mean, it's we don't know what the pace of it's going to be. It's actually been growing in frequency and pace, which is a little scary. But we're hopeful that obviously that things continue and that continue successfully, because that obviously will benefit the residents of the city. It could end up generating a significant amount of dollars to do a variety of great projects.
This is great. Are you familiar with the concept of the Urban Wealth Fund?
I am not.
So sovereign wealth funds, of course, are capital accumulation,
Sure.
seeded by central banks and revenues, and it's state fund investment. Urban wealth funds are a huge potential source of capital for American cities, because every city, even Miami, has assets, land assets, whether it's vacant land or brownfield conversion, dilapidated, derelict, blighted land that could be sold off. And you use that revenue to finance future investment. And you can even require that when you lease or sell a certain land, it be used in a certain way. For example, you must build affordable housing there, or public space, or mixed use housing, things like that. So urban wealth funds are an opportunity that Miami should absolutely tap. Right now, only one city in America, apparently, that I'm familiar with, is moving in that direction, and it's Salt Lake City. And of course, it's, again, a spacious place, also growing, one of the so-called winners from remote work and the pandemic. So I definitely think you should do that. And on the personal level, the individual level, with crypto, the sort of peer-to-peer sharing economy is so important. And one of the things that you could launch is what I call Tinder for jobs, right? So why not have people say, everyone should be posting, I need this, I need that, are you nearby, can you? So a Tinder for jobs
I like that.
constantly allow people, and they can get paid within the credits and the crypto in that system, because you want young people to be gainfully employed all the time. You want them busy helping each other, getting to know each other, doing the services and fulfilling the needs of other people in the society. And there's so much inefficiency in all of our economies. So Tinder for jobs is the way to kind of, just enhance people's sense of being busy and contributing to society.
I love that. You hear that, developers out there? Tinder for Jobs is a great application that you can come up with. Parag, thank you so much.
The book.
Yeah, get the book. I need an electronic copy because I read only electronic books, but I will download it today if it's available on iBook. And I would love for you to come back and continue the conversation as we explore some of these innovative ideas that you have.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mayor. Great to join you, and look forward to doing it in person next time.
Amen.